and a dog named Boo, traveling and a living on the
Check.
Me and you and
Check
a dog
1, 2, 3.
named Boo.
Check 1, 2, 3. There's Boo. Hey, Boo. Hey, that's pretty good. Me and you and a dog named Boo Boo. How about that? That's a pretty good yogi, eh? Now I think we're good. You know what they did? You know what this technology, this old this technology thing drives me crazy. Drives me absolutely nuts. So we'd been using the Chrome browser because Google Chrome is lightweight. It's fast. It's furious. It's fast and furious. And it can do anything. So they say, well, the latest update doesn't like our platform, apparently. So the platform popped up a nastygram and said, well, you know, you really ought to switch over to Firefox. So that, and we didn't have Firefox on this particular computer, so we had to download it and everything. And I don't know if we're on the stream. I know we're on the radio. I do know that. The stream, I'm not really so sure. Let me look here. Let me take a look, see. And, of course, nothing is fast. Yeah, darn it, it looks like we're on. It really, really looks like we're on. So now, because of all the time wasted in getting things going, not wasted. No, it's not wasted. We have just a ton of people who join us on the video stream each day, too, brought to you by Moody's Collision Center. Sean Moody, a guest on the Mike Violette Show this morning. And he owns, along with his team members, all of the Moody's Collision Centers in Maine. Thank you very much, Sean and the gang. So they are the video sponsors. We don't want to let them down, and we certainly don't want to let our viewers down either. And I know we've got radio listeners. We have online audio streaming listeners. Brought to you by the Harry J. Smith Company on Sanger Avenue in Waterville. We want everybody happy. If you're happy, we're not jolly. Like that, Mike? We're not jolly unless you're happy. The late Jolly John, rest his soul. People really like Jolly John. I don't know if they like me so much. I used to have a lot more friends than I do now. Makes me sad sometimes. You know, it's a fine line. I have to play another song here. You're going to like the song I play, though. For anybody from Maine, you're going to like it. You like rock and roll, you're going to love this, because this is I played Nick Knowlton's version yesterday of Lightning Strikes, which was awesome. Today, I'm going to play you a Rick Panett and Oak song. Oh, how about that, from 1970, maybe 1980, actually. Now that I think of it, it's 1980. Great song by Rick Panett and Oak. I've got to play that because I've got to get stuff done. I've been busy putting the new browser in. Now, where was I going with all this? I forgot even where I was headed with all this. I can't forget what I was talking about. Oh, yeah, Jolly John. Jolly John was well-loved. And I used to have more friends than I do now. That's where I was going, the continuum of thought, you understand. So it's sort of a payoff. I used to be liked, I get, well, not by nobody likes, yeah, there's always somebody who doesn't like you no matter what. But when I was on the mainstream pop station, you know, everybody liked me. You know, I was everybody's buddy. I still like to think I'm everybody's buddy. I haven't lost the ability to be a buddy. However, I've lost a lot of people who just hate my way of thinking. And Dean Scontras put it very well this morning. I'll talk about that a little bit later on, about the younger people now. But I think from the half of the people I lost, the other half still likes me and maybe has a little bit more respect now that I have made my positions known. I don't know that to be a fact, but I think maybe, I'm not sure. All right, so going to get the show going here in just a few minutes. We aren't going to be taken down for this. Rick Panett and Oak set the night on fire. Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Darkness brings a cool wind blowing and the city street lights on. You got got the keys, the convertible top's down. I've been waiting so long. How hard can we run before the morning sun? We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna burn it down with desire. We're gonna set the night on fire. Rock and roll on the radio, midnight makes us bold. Find ourselves on a sea of lights, then we lose control. How far will we go before our hearts say no? We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna burn it down with desire. We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna set the night on fire. Blinded by the brightness of the fire burning in our eyes. Crazy with the power that we captured from the midnight sky. Night burns on the streets in a desperate fever, flashing neon signs. We see our fears in the rearview mirror, leave them far behind. As the night unwinds, we'll still be running blind. We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna burn it down with desire. We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna burn it down with desire. We're gonna set the night on fire. We're gonna burn it down with
Legacy
desire.
1160 WSKW, the late, great Rick Panett and Oak. Right here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And that album cover, by the way, Set the Night on Fire, I believe, now I'm not an expert on the New York City skyline, but I believe the picture on that Oak cover, it was like dusk or twilight in New York City, and there's a photo of the Twin Towers. Set the Night on Fire was the name of the album. So there you go. And I think we're still on the stream because they aren't going to cancel us for a song that wasn't a huge hit and that nobody else probably in the world knows. So there you go. But it's a great song, and I hope you like. We'll do some main stuff every once in a while. We got the Blend. Do you remember the Blend? They had a national hit. I hope you find something. And they had a lot of other great songs too. Maybe we'll do them once in a while as well. This is Pep Rally for Freedom. John James at your service here. Yeah, Dean Scontris was saying this morning on Contact Sports with Mike Violette, talking about the younger people they're beyond liberalism. They are, in fact, I don't know, what I forget the word he used, basically tyrants, tyrannicals. They are, they are of that mindset. I forget what the word was. but he said it with Mike Violette, and that's what they are. A lot of the younger people have completely skipped the whole idea of liberalism and gone right to leftism. By the way, I think he used the word, they've gone past left and they are more into the totalitarian mindset. But I sort of, to me now, my definition of leftism is totalitarianism. Liberalism is, depending, there are varying degrees of liberalism. Who is texting me on my show? Let's take a look and see what we can see. Is there anybody of any importance here? Oh, that song does not suck. Jeff, stop. What are you talking about? Okay, bite me. Friend of mine, what do you mean? Get out of here. That's a song that would fit that format, Jeff. It's a great main song. Do you remember Oak, Mr. Jeff? Texting me here on my this is my personal phone. Can't believe he said that sucked. It was a great song. It's just you never heard it before. You'd get used to it and you'd love it just like I do, Jeff. It's a 9:34 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. Let's start the day. Oh, I see Shelley Rudnicki is live now. That's interesting. Maybe she's over at the State House. Have to check that out. Let's take a look at this day in history, and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of things. Let me tell you right now, tonight, things have been moved around. What do they call it? Shifted and shuck and jive. I don't know what the term is. We've moved the schedule around a little bit. High school hockey tonight, starting at 8:40, Kennebec Riverhawks. That's Waterville and Winslow at the Messalonsky Eagles, live from the Camden National Bank Ice Vault in Augusta. I thought we couldn't broadcast from there. Oh, now we can? Okay, well, that's all right. Doesn't matter why or how, we can. That's all that matters. So the kids are going to get covered tonight. Brought to you by Central Maine Motors Auto Group, your overall sponsor and your face-off sponsor for tonight's show. And for tonight's game and every game is G&E Roofing, Norm Elvin and the great G&E Roofing, commercial roofing and construction. And roofing construction. They don't do general construction. I want to get that right. But they will take care of your commercial roofing needs. All right, let's take a look at what happened on this day in history. And then again, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of what is going on. There's plenty to talk about, as usual. Here is the Associated Press on January 28th.
January 28th, 1986. Space Shuttle Challenger explodes 73 seconds after takeoff from Cape Canaveral, Florida. All 7 crew members on board the Challenger, among them schoolteacher Krista McAuliffe, are killed.
Space Shuttle Challenger.
President Ronald Reagan tells a shocked and grieving nation,
"We will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them this morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye and slipped the surly bonds of earth to touch the face of God."
1596. Sir Francis Drake, the mariner who became the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe, dies off the coast of Panama. 1853. Jose Marti, the Cuban revolutionary who fought for his country's independence from Spain, is born in Havana. And in 1959.
I want to say this, that it's a great game. It's a game of great lessons.
Vince Lombardi is named head coach of the Green Bay Packers. In the following decade, he leads the Packers to victory in the first 2 Super Bowls. Today in history, January 28th. Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
All right, I first want to say I was, unfortunately, as luck would have it, or unluck would have it, I was laughing. If you're watching on video, I was laughing during when they were talking about that space shuttle tragedy. And I was just reacting to my friend Jeff. We were going back and forth about the song. So when I was laughing, that's what I was. I certainly wasn't laughing at the Space Shuttle Challenger. That's one of those things, and it's it is just so hard to believe. What was 33 years ago? 34? No, 35 year. Wow. I remember where I was when the Challenger exploded. I was on the air at WKCG. That's actually where Mike Violette got his first job there at WKCG. I hired him there. And I remember that morning, my news guy, Bert, who's still a friend of mine, although we're on different sides of the political aisle, Bert had taken the copy and thrown it in the trash from the teletype because nothing major ever happens. Usually after the morning show, we're done reporting news. So this was like almost 10 o'clock in the morning or 11 o'clock, something. I can't remember what time it was. I have to go back and look. But he threw the copy away. Somebody called me and said, "You heard about the Challenger, right?" And we knew it had blasted off. And I said, "No." And they said, "Well, it exploded." So I immediately went out and looked at the teletype. And sure enough, the bell had gone off on the teletype, which is how we got our news back then. And it was in the trash. It was like 5 stars, meaning this is a big deal. And Space Shuttle Challenger exploded shortly after liftoff. And everybody was, we knew what the name, Sally Ride, and we knew all the names of the people on the space shuttle. Sally Ride was one of them, right? And Krista McAuliffe, of course, is the one we were talking about because she was from right over in New Hampshire. And so that memory always brings me back. And it's just so hard to believe it's been, 30? No, it's been 34 years. I guess. I'm just doing the math in my head. I'm not reading it off anything. It's a 9:40 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. And, let's start out with an odd Maine court case here. This is kind of funny. I won't be surprised if this makes national news. This is from our news partner, WGME. A Maine judge is going to hear arguments in a property boundary dispute. In Dover Foxcroft, where our friend Amy is from, we've talked with Amy several times about what the schools are doing there in Dover Foxcroft. Are there unhinged people in Dover Foxcroft, home of the Whoopie Pie Festival? Well, I would say probably. Gabriel Braun and his neighbor were using. They're having a property dispute as to where the property line was. Apparently, Gabriel Braun felt that his neighbor's garage was half on their property. And the Ritters are the ones who own the garage. So what Gabriel Braun did, because he felt it was on his property, is he took a Sawzall. Great tool, by the way. He took a Sawzall and he literally cut the Ritter's garage in 2. Right down the middle. Because he said the Ritter's garage sat on his property. There are pictures if you want to look it up. What a weird story. Why wouldn't you try to settle it in court? If you can't settle it mano a mano, wouldn't you go to court to settle a property boundary dispute? Or go to the town office? I don't know where you go, Dover Foxcroft. Town office, they'd have all the maps. Right? So it looks like the Ritters were in the right. And probably this guy is Gabriel Braun's going to have to replace the garage, I would think. He sawed a garage. This is a stick-built garage, a big garage. He sawed it in 2. So there you go. There's a little Little chuckle for. I'm sure they're not chuckling. The two households aren't chuckling. One guy lost his garage, and the other guy's going to have to pay for it somehow. I doubt homeowners. Homeowners probably isn't going to cover that for the guy who used the Sawzall. Chuck Schumer, update on the impeachment. Now, there's not going to be enough votes. I mean, it's virtually over. Any chance of getting Donald Trump convicted of anything? However, Chuck Schumer says he's going to hold an impeachment trial, signaling he wasn't on board with a plan in the works to censure him. Make no mistake. There will be a full and fair trial on convicting Donald Trump for high crimes and misdemeanors. He's charged with inciting insurrection, according to Schumer. The evidence against him will be presented in living color for the nation and every one of us to see. Chuck, we saw it. You are a puke bucket. Up, Chuck Schumer. What an idiot this guy is. What a moron. This guy, they cannot, unity, baloney. They don't want unity. Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, none of them want unity. None of them. They don't. They just wanted to get elected, so they preached unity. They aren't talking unity now. No, they're not. It's forgotten. This is what the Democrats always do. They talk big talk, and then when it comes right down to it, they walk away from it. Except Joe Biden in his executive orders. Joe Biden has signed more executive orders in a short time than any president in history. And do you know that he said in October to George Stephanopoulos that this is a democracy and we need consensus? He said that. I've got the audio of it. We'll play it later. We need consensus. In fact, let me find that right now. Let's look at that right now. Good old Joe Schmo. So he said executive orders are a form. This is Joe Biden talking. He hated Trump so much. They all hated Donald Trump because Donald Trump was good. Donald Trump was an American. Donald Trump was a freedom lover. Donald Trump believed in the rule of law and the Constitution. So naturally, the statists hated him because they couldn't do their statist dictates. But hypocrite Joe Biden, because that's all he is, and don't think any more of Kamala Harris, who is probably even worse than Joe Biden. But don't worry, Kamala Harris and Susan Rice have Joe under their spell, so Joe will do whatever the puppeteers say, whatever the marionettes say, because Joe is an empty vessel. So last October, Joe Biden said executive orders are a form of dictatorship. He must have writer's cramp after signing all those executive orders. He said, being a democracy, we need consensus. He's now signed well over 30 executive orders that have literally fundamentally changed America and American industry. However, in October, he had this to say when he was talking with George Stephanopoulos.
So there's not going to be any delay on the tax increases?
No, well, I got to get the votes.
Got to get the votes.
Got to get the votes. That's why, the one thing that I have this strange notion. We are a democracy. Some of my Republican friends and some of my Democratic friends even occasionally say, well, if you can't get the votes by executive order, you're going to do something. Things you can't do by executive order unless you're a dictator. We're a democracy. We need consensus.
Can't do it as a executive order. You're a dictator. We do it right until after the frickin' election. Listen to this mook. Listen to this dope. Listen to this man that people voted for because they, too, are mooks. All right? I'll put it politely. That way the kids won't. They'll mook. Oh, that's funny. Some mook. What's a mook? Look it up. Good old Joe. Dictatorship. Executive orders, right. Okay, Joe, go back to bed, okay? We'll wake you up when it's time for the early bird special. Don't worry, Susan Rice will run the country. She is going to anyway. She and Kamala. Commie Harris. We'll call her Commie Harris. That's what she is. She's a frickin' communist. She is. She's a communist. So I wonder, okay, if you have any question about Joe's competence, let's listen to this. Somebody sent me this last night. I looked at it over and over again to see if it was manipulated. I blew the audio up, I blew the video up, and it does not appear to be manipulated, which is scary. It'd be more comforting if it was manipulated. I want you to listen to this. So Joe Biden's talking about ramping up the COVID-19 vaccines. And I listened closely. I recorded it. I played it back 3, 4, 5 times. Now, I'm not a stupid guy. I understand English pretty well. But I'll be damned if I could figure out what he's saying here. Okay, listen to this. This is Joe Biden talking about ramping up the COVID-19 vaccine.
Than the federal government had previously secured.
Okay, wait a minute. No. Okay, what's the problem with that? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that was my fault. That's not my producer's fault. That is my fault. I've got the audio. I'm going to have to do a quick on-the-fly edit, which I don't know if you realize this, but that's one of the few things I'm actually pretty good at, is doing on-the-fly edits. So that would be that one. All right. So let's give this a listen. Here he is. Here is Joe Biden.
Doses than the federal government had previously secured. Not in hand yet, but ordered. We expect these additional 200 million doses to be delivered this summer. And some of it will begin to come in early summer, but by the midsummer, that this vaccine will be there. And the order, and that increases the total vaccine order in the United States by 50%, from 400 million order to 600 million. This is enough vaccine to fully vaccinate 300 Americans by end of the summer, the beginning of the fall.
300 Americans?
But we want to I want to repeat, it'll be enough to fully vaccinate 300 Americans to beat this pandemic.
All right, did I miss something there? He starts out with 200 million this summer, then by the middle of summer, then goes to 400 million, then 50% to 600 million to vaccinate 300 Americans. Donald Trump must be laughing his butt off. He must be laughing his butt off at the incompetence of this placeholder president. Wow. How scary is this? How very scary is this? He has no idea what he's saying. His handlers must shake their heads. They must be thinking, man, we've got to get him out of here soon. Just unbelievable. 9:52 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So, what else is going on that you need to know about? I mean, changes that are going on. Mayor Cuomo is still, Mayor Cuomo is still out of touch. Governor Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo is such a narcissist. This is so problematic with the leftists. You look at him. Some people will say, well, they're elitists and they're better than, and you can tell who the elitists are because they walk around, they have this air about them. They don't even know they're giving it off, right? You know what I'm saying? You know who they are. They're walking around like, well, yes, yes. And you can almost hear them talking like that. And they probably won't talk like that, but in a similar fashion, that will give off the same airs using words that they know you won't understand because you aren't as smart as they are. And they're walking around and they're looking all uppity, right? You know who these people are. They're narcissists. That's what we would call them. Everyday people would call them narcissists. They're elitists. Governor Andrew Cuomo is one of them. Completely narcissistic, completely out of touch. He has learned nothing, and that's the problem with narcissism. I learned this at a young age working with radio people who were narcissists. Because when they're narcissists in this business, people who are egotistical, people who are better than they're like God's gift of radio. Give me a break. You know, why I'm here? Because I want to be here. I love Maine, and this is where I want to be. But believe me, I know I certainly am not God's gift of radio. There are people in radio in Maine who think, well, I'm better. And you know what? These narcissists never learn anything new. That's one of the hallmarks of narcissism. You never learn anything new because in your mind, you already know enough. In fact, you know too much. You know more than anybody. You could teach a class on whatever it is you're a narcissist in. And those people are usually the ones that others talk about behind their back and say, wow, they don't realize how bad they suck. But we've had them in this area before, here in central Maine. It's like they think they're it. And they're just horrible people and just horrible on the radio. There are nobody like that I know of in this area now, but I've worked with them in the past. So this is Andrew Cuomo. He's completely narcissistic. You can't tell him anything because he already knows it all. And he wrote a book. He wrote a book during COVID-19 after he'd killed over 6,000 people by putting COVID-infected people in nursing homes with healthy people. He's killed over 6,200 people. Even after that, he had the gall, he had the audacity, he had the narcissistic manner to write a book called American Crisis, Leadership Lessons from COVID-19. He wrote that book, Leadership Lessons, because he's the leader. He knows what he's doing. He killed 6,200 people. But you see, because he's a narcissist, because he thinks nobody can be better than him, he doesn't know that. He doesn't realize it. Instead, he blames Donald Trump. I can't believe it. These people are so dumb. They are so dumb. So when you see your friends sounding dumb and self-righteous and elitist on Facebook, on Twitter, excuse me, you will know why. Because they don't think they can get any, they don't think you can teach them anything. Because you're stupid. They're smart. Don't try to argue with them because they know more than you do. Not true, but they think they do, and so the case is closed. Arguing with idiots is pointless. Trust me, save yourself the frustration and listen to Cuomo, who doesn't take blame for anything, just like his brother Fredo. He passes the buck. So it's Donald Trump's fault. Here he is on MSDNC with a adorer, a person who adores Cuomo. Of course, Nicole, I hate Trump Wallace on MSDNC.
He said he walked out and he said, let's get this straight. He said there were very fine people in both groups.
Okay, no, that's the wrong one. No, that's a good, we'll get to that later. No, play today, cut F. Here's Cuomo.
So it is going to be a long 6 months, especially after what we've gone through. That is the truth.
That is the truth. Right?
And this state, I'm very proud of what New Yorkers have done because they have rallied. We were ambushed like no other state, Nicole. And again, it was from federal incompetence.
Oh, there you go.
They thought the virus was in China.
There
It had
you
left
go.
China, it had gone to Europe, and it came here for 3 months before they ever knew.
No. Stop it. You're a fool, Cuomo. You're a fool. Write to him and tell him he's a fool. If you live in New York, you live in New Jersey. I know we have some listening on here. Write him. Tell him he's a fool. Somebody here did know. Donald Trump didn't know. Not the right people didn't know. I think somebody here knew before it ever left China or shortly thereafter and kept quiet, hoping it would be the end of Trump. And maybe their willingness to infect us and watch people die paid off. I really believe that. I believe leftists killed people knowing the coronavirus was here. If you're a leftist, if you are a progressive leftist, if you are a socialist communist, then I think that the people you worship, the people you vote for, the people you praise killed Americans. I think they are murderers who will never, by the way, be held accountable, because I think they knew the coronavirus was coming to America, and I think they said, let it be, let it go. People will get it, people will die, but we'll get Trump out. I think that was all part of the plan. Saul Alinsky, doesn't matter what the means are, as long as it justifies the end. The end is to get rid of Trump, who loves America, who loves the Constitution. Now you have socialist, progressive, communists in office dictating what is going to happen to America and American industry. Their wish has come true. Thank you, progressives. Wake up. Stop being so dumb. And if you have a rebuttal, call me. I dare ya. Let's talk. Back with more. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
At most dealerships, used vehicles are in short supply, and the vehicles that they do have are priced as though they're made of solid gold. At Darling's in Augusta and Brunswick, we have a great selection of quality used vehicles to choose from at prices to fit almost any budget. In fact, we have a large selection of inspected vehicles that are priced below $12,000. Put your tax return to good use and drive away in a reliable vehicle with low monthly payments. Darling's team of professionals take pride in finding the right vehicle for you, regardless of your credit history or prior financial concerns. We take the time to listen to your needs, and we won't rest until you find exactly what you're looking for. Choose from over 500 vehicles in stock right now at Darling's. Visit us online at darlings.com or stop by to see us today in Augusta or at our newest location in Brunswick. You'll do better at Darling's.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Franklin Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
ABC News, I'm Alex Perche. More executive action from President Biden. And today's will focus on health care.
President Biden will move to expand access to family planning and reproductive care for low-income individuals. Through a presidential memorandum, Mr. Biden will ask the Department of Health and Human Services to, quote, take immediate action to consider whether to rescind regulations under its Title X family planning program. President Biden will sign the memorandum today in the Oval Office, joined by Vice President Kamala Harris. Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
The Biden administration saying this week that as many as 90,000 more Americans could die from COVID within the next month. They're also working on expanding vaccine distribution and said to be in talks about having military service members help administer shots at 100 sites around the country. An urgent bulletin from the Homeland Security Department warns of additional threats of domestic terrorism. According to the new warning, right-wing militants and lone wolves may target elected officials and government facilities. This is ABC News. Pakistan's Supreme Court has ordered the release of a man convicted and then later acquitted in the brutal murder of American reporter Daniel Pearl. Facebook is looking at ways to shift political discussions.
Aware that plenty of Facebook users are turned off by inflammatory political posts, CEO Mark Zuckerberg announcing that Facebook will take moves to turn down the temperature in political discussions on the platform to downplay divisive posts. On an earnings call, Zuckerberg making clear that Facebook will still enable people to engage in political groups and discussions if they want to, but saying one of the top pieces of feedback we're hearing from our community right now is that people don't want politics and fighting to take over their experience on our services. Dave Packer, ABC News.
And something new to blame on the pandemic, a recent shortage in some breakfast cereals. One brand, Grape Nuts, says it's having supply chain issues, and others are seeing stocks running low, with more people staying home and eating more cereal. Alex Prochet, ABC News.
When it comes to your bathroom, the shortest distance between outdated and updated is one click on HomeDepot.com/bath. It's the Days of Doing Winter Bath event. Up to 40% off a wide selection of vanities, faucets, toilets, and more, plus free delivery of all online vanities. From bold new lighting to a fresh new shower, your new bath is closer than you think. The Winter Bath event, online now at HomeDepot.com/bath. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Valid through March 28th, while supplies last.
Before you drive the all-new Nissan Rogue, you gotta ask yourself, how rogue are you gonna go? We talking be one with nature in the desert rogue? Go snowshoeing in Alaska rogue? Or take the long way home just because kind of rogue? Just a question, but with 5 available drive modes, you're sure to find the answer.
Go rogue in the all-new, fiercely reimagined 2021 Nissan Rogue, now with the most standard safety features in its class. See Owner's Manual for important safety information. Auto Pacific segmentation. 2021 Nissan Rogue versus latest in market competitors. Base miles compared.
Here's a man who won't be controlled by the government. He'll keep his guns. He'll keep his gas guzzler. And he'll keep his thermostat where he damn well pleases. Here's the friendliest man in America, climate change denier, John James.
Hey, welcome back. It's 10:05 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. On Facebook, Legacy page, Legacy 1160, my page, John, J.O. and James. Freedom's Pep Rally with John James. Right America Media and American Women Who Bear Arms. Find us any of those places. We're also on Twitch and USA.life and YouTube at Legacy1160.com. Click on the video link. We're all over the place. We are literally available almost everywhere fine videos are available right now. Although I read this morning that Facebook is going to cut back political content. So I guess we're either going to have to get a lot less political or we're going to be probably deleted from the platform before long. Just a guess. I don't know that that's going to come to fruition. But usually they do things like that without warning. There seems to be a little bit of warning in this case. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. That's all we can do. 10:06 on Legacy 1160. And this is troubling. This is from The Blaze, and it deals with a college professor. Yes, somebody of higher education. Yes. Somebody who is maybe an elitist. Yes, and perhaps this professor is I don't know, a little too intellectual. He's at the University of California, Riverside. That tells you all you need to know, right? You know what he says? He says heterosexuality. I'm getting you ready for this. You're wondering where this is going to go, aren't you? According to this professor, heterosexuality, a man liking women and women liking men, is a tragic concept. Yes, you heard right. He says heterosexuality is a tragic concept that perpetuates misogyny, funnels men into supporting toxic masculinity, and breaks up relationships. You understand that? Do you get that? So in other words, if you aren't a gay or lesbian or transgender, that's tragic. Because our creator, our maker, nature, is screwed up. They don't know. Well, first of all, this guy obviously doesn't believe in a creator. I mean, forget it. That's out the window. That's already long gone. This guy, anybody who says something like this is godless. You know that right up front, right? As highlighted by Campus Reform, Jane Ward, that's her name, a professor of gender and sexuality studies. Now, there's what you want to spend $50,000 or $60,000 a year for your kid to go learn about, right? Gender and sexuality studies. Oh, that's worth the money. Save your frickin' money and go to a community college and learn a trade. Save your money and your headaches, and God help America if you send your kids to schools like this. So this Jane Ward is just, she's a complete Fruit Loop. She's a self-described lesbian, says heterosexual relationships are inherently bad for people and their interpersonal relationships because they highlight inequality. Let that sink in for a minute. So you've got a self-described lesbian saying heterosexuality is tragic. It leads to toxic masculinity. It destroys relationships. Says the woman who likes women. Hey, you know what? Good for her. But shut your pie hole. You're a moron. Do I have to be any more blunt? How do you really feel, John? She's an idiot. I'm not going to make fun of your sexual preference. Oh, that's right. Mazie Hirono says that is demeaning. So the dictionary went ahead and changed it. Merriam-Webster, I think, changed the definition the day Mazie Hirono said that is a slur. It's not sexual. Yeah, it's sexual preference is what I'm going to use because that's what everybody understands. So that's what I'm going to use here on the radio. So, Jane Ward, fine. You're a lesbian. Good. Enjoy your life. I'm not going to stand in your way. But where the hell do you get off teaching students that heterosexuality is tragic? This is the problem. In America, morals are out the window. It doesn't matter what she thinks. It doesn't matter what she does with her own life. But leave the rest of society out of it. They want to change us. They want everybody to be like them. There is no denying it when you hear stuff like this. You teach kids, if they like the opposite sex, that it's tragic, that you are doing something wrong. How is this even right in anybody's mind? Whether you're gay or lesbian or transgender, how is that right in your mind? For a woman, I don't know, that's probably not even her chosen pronoun. But you know what? At this point, I don't much care, Jane. Your name is Jane, you're a lesbian, I assume you're a woman, and she, her will suffice. In December, in an article for Insider, Ward argued that by all appearances, men and women don't actually like one another. This is what she's teaching students. How many other professors are there in colleges, at Yale, at Harvard, at Brandeis? Name it. I mean, there are probably people like Jane Ward on every college campus teaching this misinformation, this tripe, as fact. Is that not a little disconcerting to you? Does this not make your hair stand up? Insiders Julia Naftalin reported Jane Ward, this is talking about Jane Ward, the professor. If you're just joining us, Jane Ward is the professor at the University of California, Riverside, that says heterosexuality is tragic. Jane Ward told Julia Naftalin she feels sorry for straight people, especially straight women, who typically report some of the lowest sexual satisfaction in society. But she also feels sorry for straight men who are pigeonholed into toxic masculine culture that teaches them both that they need and should also demean women. No, Jane Ward, you're an idiot. A degree actually means nothing. Clearly, you have stupid people teaching opinion as fact in institutes of higher education. Yes, I said stupid people like Jane Ward teaching people in school opinion as fact. Wrong on so many levels. She said it really looks like straight men and women don't like each other very much, that women spend so much time complaining about men, and we still have so much evidence of misogyny. That's what she told the outlet Insider. From an LGBT perspective, heterosexuality looks actually very tragic. You know what's tragic? People like Jane Ward are actually revered by If I was the president of that institution, she'd be gone. She would be out of there for teaching that crap. She'd be all out of there. Unless she said, in my opinion, and I'm sure she doesn't, she's stating this as fact. She never once said, in my opinion. Men and women don't like each other very much. Tell some men and women who have been married for 60, 70 or more years and are still in love like the day they met. Tell them that. Tell them men and women don't like each other very much. You think all men are toxic masculine? I've got new, and by the way, what is toxic masculinity? Does that mean just being manly? Well, that's nature. What's wrong with that? They want everybody to be more feminine. They want girly men. They want, I don't know what they want for women. Do they want women to be more masculine and men to be more feminine? Probably that's it. I don't know. I don't live that lifestyle. If you want to, go ahead. I don't care. But don't tell me what's right and wrong based on your opinion and tell me it's fact, because you're a mook. You are dumber than dirt. Where this country is going. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm gonna post some of these stories for you. I'll try to get some posted during a break here on Facebook, and we're hopefully going to be able to start a page on the website. Well, no, we can. It's just the time. Start a page on the actual website where you'll be able to go. We'll link to the stories, all the stories we talk about on the various platforms that we use. So, and I'm sure we're getting some comments on this. So, got one here that from Alany. My husband and I are best friends and always have been, even before we began a relationship. I am happier with him than I've ever been with anyone. I personally can say that she is wrong. Yeah, she's wrong. She's wrong for teaching it. If that's the way she feels, that's fine. That's okay. You can. I often say you can't help your feelings. Can't help your feelings. You feel for somebody, you have feelings for somebody, and that's the lifestyle you want to live. That's up to you. But where is the educational grounds for teaching crap like that? Where are the educational grounds for saying this is the way it is and not presenting it as an opinion? It's just sick. It's literally brain sickness. She is clearly, as we say, touched. 10:18 here on Legacy 1160 WSKW. You know who's more like America than America right now when it comes to big tech? Poland. What? Yeah. Here, let me tell you what I mean. In the mainstream media, Poland has been branded as the country which does not respect the foundation of democracy. But Poland is at the forefront of freedom, at least in as far as expression is concerned. According to a proposed bill in Poland, social media that censors users will be forced to pay multi-million euro fines. Think that'll ever happen as long as Democrats are in control in the United States and Republicans apparently didn't see enough of a problem to address it? Donald Trump tried to get rid of Section 230, which protects social media from lawsuits from, things their users post. It also gives them freedom over whatever they want to delete. 230 needs to be rewritten. Keep them free from lawsuits so long as they can remove only posts that actually incite violence, but forces them to allow opinions from all sides, even ones in poor taste, and even lies. It's free speech. I mean, everything Joe Biden says pretty much has been a lie. Everything he said during the campaign is a lie. He hasn't banned fracking yet, but he's stopped drilling. I mean, he's pretty much banned fracking and drilling on all federal lands. Said he wouldn't. Not against it. But he's okay. He can skate by. He's no problem with Joe. Donald Trump, he says something, though, as soon as they think it's a lie, and it usually isn't, by the way, when it comes to public policy, they delete him. That should not be allowed. I'm sorry, I don't care they're a private company. Throw that in my face. They're too powerful. They need government control. So do some of the cable news channels, by the way. 207-621-9759. 207-621-9759. Is that right? Uganda banned Twitter? I did not see that. Yeah. Well, that's good. Yeah, maybe there you go. That would stop them in their tracks, wouldn't they? Wouldn't it? All that would have to happen, and it never will, because this country is too divided, and the Democrats want all control of speech. And they can deny it all. I don't see anybody calling me to deny it. I don't see anybody on the left saying, I'm going to call him up and I'm going to tell him where the bear poops in the woods. So I guess I guess you know how emphatic they are about their opinions. They're all big guy, big girl behind the keyboard when it comes to putting their voice and name out there. May not have a very friendly audience there. You know you're not going to convince anybody, right? With your wacko ideas. You can try. I'll let you try. I'll let you talk. without interruption for I'll give you a minute or two if you don't get too mouthy and you don't start swearing. I'll let you go for a little bit. The minute you start getting mouthy and you swear or something like that, you're going to get shut down. And then we'll have a discussion about what you say. But you're only brave enough to say it on social media. But when it comes right down to it, you're I don't know, a coward, I guess is the way to put it. 10:23. So Liz Cheney's in some hot water. You hear what's happening with her? And today's going to be a big day. Matt Gaetz is a Republican from Florida. And again, I wish we had somebody from Maine who we could go to and say, this person, they're go for it. They're good. They know how to speak. They know how to fight. But we don't have anybody in Maine. I mean, we've got Jared Golden probably is he's a Democrat, and he's oftentimes not on our side. He wasn't during both impeachments. But he's the closest thing we've got, and he's never going to go fight for any Republicans. We have nobody in the state. Susan Collins, forget it. She might vote the right way sometimes. She is never going to take a strong fight for Republicans, for conservatism out there, because conservative is not her brand. Not her brand. Matt Gaetz of Florida, it's his brand. He told Breitbart during a conference call Monday that House Republican Conference Chair Liz Cheney, that's Dick Cheney's daughter, her attacks against Representative Tom Massey of Kentucky and himself represent her vindictive style. Now, some people would call her the B word, and I might be inclined to if I was a little bit more fueled up about this. I've been reading about this for some time. Gaetz told Breitbart News as he announced he will travel to Wyoming to inspire the state to oust her as their representative in Georgia, and he is doing that today. Matt Gaetz is going to Wyoming, Cheyenne, Wyoming. He will be there today, making his case against Liz Cheney. Now, Gaetz has long been known for being a proponent of Donald Trump and his America First. He said, in the wake of the Biden presidency, the Republican Party establishment is trying to wrangle the conservative movement back under their control. They want the GOP to look and sound like Liz Cheney. I have a competing vision for Republicanism, and I intend to showcase it by going after the America Last politicians in both parties. That's how he describes her. Liz Cheney, America Last. Sounds about right, doesn't it? America Last, that sounds like Mitch McConnell, actually. Sounds like a lot of them. More than half of the House Republican Conference has committed to support a resolution calling to remove Cheney as the House GOP chair. She voted to impeach Donald Trump, the so-called Republican. She's a rhino. Wyoming is not that liberal. I think this is going to gain ground. I mean, she's new. She's got a future, and she's going to have to switch parties. The House Republican leader, Kevin McCarthy, said on Sunday that Cheney has to answer to the House GOP conference about her leadership as the third-ranking Republican. Gaetz said that his call to remove Cheney arose after Cheney supported Massey's primary opponent. Massey, by the way, is a fantastic legislator. Gaetz told Breitbart that Cheney's move to primary Massey, as well as her office's comments against him, demonstrate her vengeful attitude. Liz was the first to demonstrate a vindictive style by going after Thomas Massey when he got crossways with the president and looked vulnerable. Thomas obviously wasn't vulnerable. He was very strong and won the primary overwhelmingly, but it showed a lot about Liz Cheney and her approach to politics. And those disagreements also reflect disagreements on American foreign policy, the America Last attitude. So today, Gates is going to rally at the Capitol in Cheyenne, trying to oust Cheney from her leadership, hopefully from Congress. House Republicans are expected to decide next week whether to strip her of her job as House Conference Chair. Wouldn't that be a slap in the face, huh? For old Liz. Speaking of America Last, there is Lurch Carey. Lurch Hines Carey. Yeah, I'm talking about John Kerry. John Kerry, the climate envoy. Wow, how about that? How about that? Lurch is the climate envoy for President Biden. That's a pretty big title there. Climate envoy. And China sweetheart John Kerry made all his money from marrying rich women, and also from China and his son, his stepson, Christopher Hines, who he got over there in China and introduced him with, it was Hunter Biden, it was Chris Hines, it was, who's the other, Devin Archer, on the coattails of John Kerry and Joe Biden, or as we call them, princelings. They're called princelings. Get all the money from China. So we know who John Kerry is loyal to. He's loyal to Xi Jinping, Chinese Communist government, because China is the big winner in this climate battle. Did you know that? China doesn't have to toe the line on any of this stuff, or what, like a decade? So while America literally, not figuratively, literally goes down the toilet, we're circling the drain, baby. Already, in the first day of office, we started circling that drain. With John Kerry leading the charge and AOC right there behind him with her head up his butt. And they're destroying us, while China is set to become the world economic leader in no time flat. Because they don't have to do anything. They don't have to do anything. In fact, China Energy is supported by the Kerrys and the Bidens and the Hines and the McConnells. Oh, yeah, go for it, China. Biggest polluter in the world. You keep going. How come not China first? Why not China first? Well, Xi Jinping said no. He said, you go first. We'll follow 10 years later. Yeah, we can trust them. We can trust them. How much money are you getting for this, John Kerry? How much money is Hunter Biden getting for this, Joe? How much money, how much cash in your pockets, the pockets of your family? How much is Dr. Jill getting for this? How much is your daughter Ashley getting for this? They're going to be all set, aren't they, Joe? How much is your wife getting for this, Mitch? Come on. Come on. Green New Deal, big bucks, China gets a free pass, America shuts down. We send more people to endless wars. Perfect for you, I tell you. So John Kerry, the climate envoy, is all in. He's got it all worked out about climate change, all ready to pitch in and clean up the world while destroying America's infrastructure, securing China's place as the world leader in everything. He was asked what the oil workers and pipeline workers who are being displaced by the thousands, what should they do now? And it was pretty clear, rich John Kerry, Lurch, couldn't win a presidential election, threw his medals over the fence because he wasn't proud to be in the military. Democrat, military sucks. Veterans suck. Come on, John, just be real. Tell us what you really think. You don't throw medals over the fence because you're proud of your country. Wasn't your fault that America went to Vietnam. Keep the friggin' medals. No, throw him proud. John Kerry is rich. He's entitled. He's elite. He's too smart for the room. He's smarter than you. He'll tell you that. He pretty much told thousands of oil workers that yesterday. Well, what are they supposed to do? They're suddenly, boom, just like that, they're out of work. No more paycheck coming in. $80,000, $100,000 a year or more for these people, some of these people on this pipeline. And not to mention the Indian reservations in Utah who count on fossil fuels. So what? So what? Well, they can just go. This is how nonchalant he is. I want you to hear him. Well, they just go get a job working for wind power and solar power. They're huge now. They're huge, says cocky John frickin' Kerry. You can look at him and you can say, wow, there's our guy right there, our climate envoy, John Kerry. He doesn't care about people. He cares about himself. He's wealthy. He doesn't, well, just go out and get another job. Like Joe Biden nonchalantly said when they were talking about shutting down coal mining in Pennsylvania. Well, they can just learn coding. Yeah, just go out and learn coding. Nothing. Easy to say, isn't it? Oh, those things are so easy to say. He was asked, so what are the oil workers going to do? And listen.
Them is that they are seeing an end to their livelihoods. What do you say to them, particularly those people who President Trump struck a chord with on the campaign trail when he promised to save their jobs? What is your message to them right now? And also to the oil industry executives who are listening, are you putting them on notice today?
Well, we didn't come here to put anybody on notice except to the seriousness of President Biden's intent to do what needs to be done to deal with this crisis. And it is a crisis.
Oh, sure, it is a crisis.
With respect to those workers, no two people are more in this room are more concerned about it. And the President of the United States has expressed in every comment he has made about climate the need to grow the new jobs that pay better, that are cleaner. You look at the consequences of black lung for a miner, for instance, and measure that against the fastest growing job in the United States before COVID was solar power technician. The same people can do those jobs, but the choice of doing the solar power one now is a better choice. Similarly, you have the second fastest growing job pre-COVID was wind turbine technician.
Oh,
this is happening.
Yeah,
75%, 70% of all the electricity that's come online in the United States in the last few years came from renewables.
Okay, first of all, fact check. Oh, by the way, fact check. Thank you, Mikkel. I thought they were his medals he threw. Mikkel told me, fact check, they were deceased veterans medals that John Kerry discarded. But regardless, he discarded war medals, which just shows his hate for the military. It wasn't a Vietnam protest. It was his hate for the military. So first of all, John Kerry, I doubt that any of that's true. I doubt that any of what you said is true. And secondly, no solar power technician and wind turbine workers are not the fastest growing jobs, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And compared to oil jobs, the pay isn't even close. Nice try, though, Lurch. Again, stating things as fact with no provability whatsoever, and they hated Trump for lying. But do you think John Kerry is going to be fact-checked on MSNBC or CNN? Well, let's see if what he said is true. No, they don't. They won't research it. Number one, they don't want to work. They do not want to work. They're some of the elitists, Nicole Wallace, Katie Tur, Chuck Todd. They don't want to work. They just want to read whatever's on Twitter. And if it's something that makes their candidate look bad, their chosen party look bad, they can say, no, I'm not even going to look at it. Not even going to look at it. If it's true, good. If it's not, well, nobody will ever know. They don't want to work and they don't want to hurt their party. Should be illegal. It should be illegal. 1037 here on Legacy 1160. Got to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Electrical repair should never be done without the knowledge of how to do it safely. Better yet, skip that stress and let Kennebec Electric and Lighting take care of it for you. Kennebec Electric has offered professional electric and lighting service and expert installation in homes and businesses for over 37 years, and they stand behind that experience with a guarantee on all their work. Kennebec Electric and Lighting. Contact them for all your electric and lighting servicing, including installations and repairs at 861-7028 or online at kennebecelectric.com.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Cloudy with areas of fog this morning, then developing sun. It will be brightest and warmest away from the coast. Low 70s at the coast, mid 70s to near 80 degrees further inland. Rain moves in tonight into tomorrow. It will also be windy, clearing during the afternoon. Highs in the low 70s, mostly sunny, less humid for Thursday.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Hi. Hockey. We've got hockey tonight. High school hockey. It's the Kennebec Riverhawks taking on the Messalonskee Eagles at the Camden National Bank Ice Vault in Augusta. Face-off 8:40 tonight on Legacy 1160 WSKW, streaming at Legacy1160WSKW.com. Legacy1160.com is the website. No call letters in there. Legacy1160.com. You can hear it from anywhere. Audio stream. Just click on Listen Live. And you, too, will get the action. I did not know that John Kerry was in Maine to talk to her buddy, his buddy, Janet Mills, Maine's climate envoy. Let's throw money at stuff that doesn't matter. All the while putting people suffering from layoffs and joblessness out of work, all the while letting more illegal aliens in to take the jobs that are coming back. It is a recipe for disaster. That's what the left knows. They know recipes for disaster. Let me see. No recommendations for the White House. At White House, I don't know what this is. Thank you for sending it. Not sure what it means. It's 10:41 now on Legacy 1160 WSKW. So you know who's excited? Oh, boy. You know who's really excited about the climate envoy and Joe Biden? You know who's really, really excited? It may not surprise you that it's somebody from NBC, somebody who is completely giddy about the fact Joe Biden is shutting down oil production and raising prices on gas and energy. By the way, let me show you something. Diesel fuel has just skyrocketed, apparently. I don't use diesel. My son does. And I forget who. Somebody was out plowing. And darn it, I forget who it was now. I was going to tell you the price jump. Yeah, tell me if you drive a diesel and you've seen the price jump, let me know. But it was exorbitant, and it's only the beginning. This is what they want. This is exactly what they want, and this is what Al Roker wants. Al Roker is literally giddy about this. You want to hear how giddy he is about this? Well, give a listen. Here's is not surprising, Al Roker.
Later today, President Biden will be signing some executive actions around climate. One of them is going to actually elevate climate change as a national security priority.
Wow.
A first look at President Biden's plan to tackle climate change, and this one is near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely. In fact, we're going to be talking with the new White House National Climate Advisor, Gina McCarthy. She's going to tell us what the president's going to be announcing today, and why he is classifying climate change as a matter of national security. One of the first actions President Biden took after taking office was rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, signaling his commitment to battling climate change. Well, today, the president is set to lay out his plan and announce several new executive actions, including establishing a national climate task force, White House National Climate Advisor, the first one.
Wow. The first one. The first one. How excited is Al Roker about this? I'll let him tell you.
I pooped my pants.
Well, there you go. Al Roker, it's great. It's great. The Paris, did you hear him? He's re-signed the Paris Climate Accord. Who should be happy about that? China. China, because they can watch our economy go down the toilet while they become supreme. Another feather in the cap of Xi Jinping and his desire to rule the world. And the left is out there, what's wrong with that? Yeah, so Xi Jinping, big deal. Big deal. I mean, we need to take care of the climate problem. The trouble is, China doesn't have to do a damn thing. The biggest polluter in the world doesn't have to do a damn thing. Just keep producing, keep sending, we'll keep receiving. How many people are going to have to be out of work? And by the way, they're going to have to collect benefits. More government out money going out. How much can we afford? I'm serious about that. So here's something we never expected. Here's something we certainly never hoped for. So here's some things to think about. We've got COVID-19, and we've got millions of people unemployed or underemployed. Joe Biden is looking to sign a $1.9 trillion stimulus package, including a federal minimum wage increase to $15 an hour. So you've got so many people unemployed, probably more than we had up until COVID-19, maybe more than we've had since the Great Depression. Although it was starting to come back under Trump. Now, this next few months is going to be interesting to see. So we've got $1.9 trillion for a stimulus Joe Biden is looking to sign. We have a $15 an hour minimum wage. We have oil and gas workers in the United States and Canada, boom, gone. Just like that. They are done with a stroke of a pen. No skin off Biden's nose. Made China happy. That's all he cares about. I dare say that this climate hoax is mostly about appeasing China. They have tried for years to go, because there is no proof that the carbon dioxide increase is doing any harm other than raising the temperature just a minuscule amount. And it's not because of man-made, at least for the most part, not because of man-made CO2. What is CO2 doing? CO2 is greening the earth, making us, enabling us to grow more food longer. That's what the warming climate has done, and this is a cycle. They know it's a cycle, or they're just stupid. I don't know which. Either one is plausible. So we've got a greening earth, more food for the hungry, and they want to bring a halt to it. And they want to ruin our economy. So there we go. We've got $1.9 trillion stimulus. We have thousands of people out of work. We're going to open the borders up so illegal aliens can come in here and take over jobs that Americans need right now. We're going to start giving medical care to everybody. We want to pay for education for everybody. Gas prices are going to go through the roof. Americans can't afford gas as it is now, and it's cheaper than it's been. What? And $15 an hour. Businesses are struggling to pay employees. Nancy Berg, a friend of mine who owned Rebecca's Place in Augusta, had the best cream rolls in the world, is now out of business because of the China virus. Oops. Sorry, Joe, you're going to have me arrested? The China virus, China virus, China virus, China virus. No, it's not racist. Everybody listening knows I hold no blame to any Chinese Americans or the poor Chinese people. It's the Chinese Communist government. But of course, Joe Biden thinks he's smarter than you and everybody else. So he thinks when you say China virus, you're directing it at Chinese Americans because he's a fool. He's a fool and a tool. So the China virus. We've got the China virus. Don't know exactly where I was going with that. But we've got people, Nancy, my friend Nancy, out of business. Because of COVID-19, she can't keep staff. So, and the customer count is way down. So now you're going to cause a $15 an hour minimum wage, a federal minimum wage, which may work in Los Angeles, California. Won't work in Augusta, Maine for everybody. Won't work in Millinocket, Maine. Won't work in Dover, Foxcroft, Maine. What is he doing? What the hell is he doing? We should always have somebody like Trump in office. Like Trump. I'm not saying Donald Trump because I'm not a Trumpanzee, as you leftists like to call us. I do love freedom. But Joe Biden has been an elitist and entitled mook for so long. He doesn't know what regular people go through. Just because he rides a subway doesn't make him in touch with America. He's way out of touch. He and his brother James and his whole family's gotten rich off of China. We know that. Still getting rich off of China. He's been in the Beltway for almost 50 years. And he thinks he knows how what's best for America. Oh, $15 minimum wage. How the hell does AOC know that we need a $15 minimum wage? She never owned a business. She worked as a bartender. I'm telling you, you've got the animals running the zoo. That's what this is. It's 10:52 right now. Legacy 1160 WSKW. So will climate change cost us more? That's a pretty fair question. Let's take a look at that. I've just got to update my computer here real quick. Stay with me. All right. Joe Biden promised that families making under $400,000 a year would face no new taxes under his plans. Remember that? Well, Nobody, if you make over $400,000 a year, you'll pay higher taxes. That's what he said. Did you believe that? People believed it. People on the left believed it. Oh, yeah. See, he's not that bad. He's a moderate. They are such babies. They're such children. They're infantile. Their brains aren't developed, and nor will they ever be. I really question whether they will ever have developed brains in their skulls. So, $400,000 a year was going to be the bar. Anything above that, you're going to be taxed more. But his nominee to head the Commerce Department must not have gotten the memo or heard the speech, because Rhode Island Governor Gina Raimondo said during a Senate hearing on Tuesday for her nomination that the administration would have to remain open about new taxation on middle-class families in order to fund policies on climate change. So we saw our taxes go down. We saw our standard deduction go up. Guess what? Guess what, middle-class people? My friends. Raimondo was asked by Rick Scott of Florida to comment on whether she would be in favor of new taxes, including a gas tax. Let me say this. I, as governor, am deeply in touch with how much increasing bills affect the average American family. Really? Really, Governor Raimondo? Is that a fact? Huh. Having said that, she said, we do need to meet the climate change challenge. And we need funds for improved infrastructure, better roads, safer bridges, which also creates jobs. So I would look to balance those interests and work as a piece of the president's team. Raimondo added. So there's your answer. There's your answer. Thanks to the climate envoy and the climate edicts of AOC, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the rest of the petty thieves. You can look for another tax increase, the one that you were told we wouldn't be getting. Because if his mouth is moving, he's probably telling a lie. Back with more after the news. Please stick around. I'm John James.
Legacy 1160, WSKW.
Sales and service by a family who cares. Whittemore and Sons, Whittemore and Sons.
There are some things you can simply never depend on, like getting your morning coffee just the way you like it every day. I mean, you order it the same way. How is it different today? But know that you can always count on Whittemore & Sons in our line of Coyote tractors. Coyote tractors are machines made to work, whether it's mowing, tilling, digging, lifting, or hauling. Check out the full line of tough and versatile Coyote tractors, attachments, implements, and accessories at Whittemore & Sons, your Coyote tractor dealer, with dependable sales in service for over 50 years. Run ahead of the pack with a Coyote tractor from Whittemore & Sons on the Waterville Road in Skowhegan. Sales and service by a family who cares.
From work to fun, we'll help you get it done. Whittemore & Sons, outdoor power equipment.
At most dealerships, used vehicles are in short supply, and the vehicles that they do have are priced as though they're made of solid gold. At Darling's in Augusta and Brunswick, we have a great selection of quality used vehicles to choose from at prices to fit almost any budget. In fact, we have a large selection of inspected vehicles that are priced below $12,000. Put your tax return to good use and drive away in a reliable vehicle with low monthly payments. Darling's team of professionals take pride in finding the right vehicle for you, regardless of your credit history or prior financial concerns. We take the time to listen to your needs, and we won't rest until you find exactly what you're looking for. Choose from over 500 vehicles in stock right now at Darling's. Visit us online at at darlings.com or stop by to see us today in Augusta or at our newest location in Brunswick. You'll do better at Darlings.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
We'll see most of these guys for this morning.
From the Home Auto Group Studios, Farmington Ford and Chrysler in Farmington. This is WSKW, Skowhegan, Augusta, Waterville, Legacy 1160.
Mutation.
We're going ahead already now and trying to stay a step that we made for the ones we're giving now, but having it be directed specifically against the isolate that's in South Africa.
Slow coronavirus vaccines are not just here, but around the world. Production and distribution have stalled in the European Union. This is ABC News. San Francisco School Board is stripping historical names from dozens of schools. Citing ties with slavery, oppression, or racism, the board is changing the names of schools named for George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Abraham Lincoln. The mayor of one of Italy's biggest cities is found guilty of involuntary manslaughter after a stampede at a stadium that was triggered by thieves.
Many Italians are perplexed by a court here that has found the mayor of the northern city of Turin guilty of involuntary manslaughter. That's after a stampede during a screening of a 2017 soccer championship that left 2 people dead and hundreds injured. The stampede was triggered by a group of thieves who used pepper spray on their targets. 4 men were sentenced to 10 years in prison. A court found Mayor Chiara Appendino and others guilty of poor management of the event. Appendino is appealing the verdict. She says it's unfair that she's held responsible for events triggered by what she called the mad actions of a gang of robbers. Megan Williams, ABC News, Rome.
And I'm Jim Ryan, ABC News.
What's in store this week at Staples?
Printing you new signs for the times.
Get back to business with custom printed signs and sales materials. Staples has hundreds of designs to choose from, or just upload your own.
And now at Staples, get 25% off custom flyers, brochures, postcards, or labels when you spend $70 or more.
Some items printed same day when ordered before 2 p.m.
Save big on custom printing at Staples. Ends 2/27. Exclusions apply. Limit 1 offer per customer. See store associate or visit staples.com/custom prints for details.
Hey, what do you want to da-da-da? I don't know. What do y'all think we should da-da-da? Well, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday. All the dolls feel like the same doll these days. I know. Like, is today Monday or Tuesday? Today is Thursday. Oh, no, I forgot to call my mom on her birthday. Oh, no.
These days, nothing is normal and everything is weird. But you could still save big when you switch to Progressive. That won't change. Not today or any day.
Quote today at Progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mainly cloudy through this afternoon with occasional snow showers. Highs will be in the 30s. Cloudy with the chance for snow showers tonight. Lows in the 20s. Mainly cloudy tomorrow. Highs again in the 30s. But we cool down for Friday with highs just in the teens. Chance for some more snow showers, especially at the coast on Friday. Sunny but cool for the weekend.
And now, the show that highlights America's most intelligent people.
Mr. Kelly, please do not leave. Because I want you to know that I am more offended as an African-American woman than you will ever be. And this business about making America great again, it is your president that's dividing this country.
Freedom's Pep Rally with John James.
All right, they abound. The idiots abound. They're all around us. We're being controlled by them for now. 11:02 on Legacy 1160 WSKW. 207-441-6969, the text line. 207-441-6969. 6969. Steel of a Biden is brighter than a dim light bulb. Yeah, that is one of the old sayings. Thank you for that. I'm sorry I missed the text earlier. He's barely brighter than a dead light bulb. It's 11:03 right now on Legacy 1160. And finish up with a little climate change and the Green New Deal. So where is this going, this multi-trillion-dollar waste of money to address a non-existential issue? Joe Biden implemented by executive action last Wednesday, day he was inaugurated, some of the climate change policies advocated in the Green New Deal that he said he didn't support in 2019. But that's Joe. Joe lies. I mean, Joe, why did people think after 47 years, Joe has lied about his education, he's lied about his life, he has plagiarized speech after speech after speech from heads of state in the United States and other countries? He is if being a liar is criminal, he would have been convicted and locked up for life. All of a sudden, we believe him. We believe what he says because he wouldn't lie, because he's like us. Yeah, he's like you. You're an elitist fraud. If you're a leftist, that's what you are. You're really a fraud, or you're just too dumb to realize that what you believe is wrong. I've still yet to hear somebody with an opposing view, and I've missed some calls here this morning. I realize that. Maybe it was one of them. I doubt it. I doubt anybody with an opposing view is going to dare to call. Like to talk with them, though. Like to see what their mindset is. High school hockey tonight, 8:40. Kennebec Riverhawks at Messolonsky take on the Eagles. Live from the Camden National Bank Ice Vault in Augusta. And it's all brought to you by Central Maine Motors Auto Group and G&E Roofing in Augusta. So, Socialist Democrat Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez of New York, who is the big author of the Green New Deal, said she is pleased. I am pleased with the orders from Joe Biden. They were similar to the Green New Deal. So she's taking credit. She's giving herself an old pat on the back. Now, here's part of Biden's executive orders include indefinitely halting all oil and gas leases on federal land. Goal of doubling offshore wind energy by 2030, elevating climate change to a national security priority, which Al Roker is celebrating, and creating a White House Office of Domestic Climate Policy, because we need more people in government. We need more government positions. And these are just worthless. These are like, let's give the children jobs where they can make big money and sit around doing nothing, trying to figure out how to solve a non-existent problem. There is no problem. There is no climate crisis. Will you tell your kids that? Will you tell your grandkids that? There is no climate crisis. No, storms are not worse. No, the weather is not hotter. It's not the hottest it's ever been. It's not. It just isn't. This has happened before the Industrial Revolution, before man-made CO2 was an issue. It's happened in 1922. It's happened in history. What's wrong with you? Well, I just want to spend more money for gas. I want to spend more money to buy an electric car. I want to have to redo my whole house. Because I know that with solar panels and windmills, the earth will be saved. And you know what? Nothing's going to change. They're already saying, well, we could go to zero carbon emissions tomorrow, John Kerry said. Nothing will change. Well, no, of course not, nitwit. because it's not the problem. It's infinitesimal. The amount of greenhouse gases causing problems, causing the heating of the earth. It's more cyclical. It's more natural. But you don't believe there's a maker in control of all this, do you? No, of course not. Of course not. You're godless. We know you're godless. And I say that from experience. I have been made fun of by leftists for using religion on my posts more times than I can count. Oh, why do you have to bring fairy tales into this? Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe that's why I'm not so worried about greenhouse gases ending the earth, because I know that my life isn't going to end with the end of the earth. How about you? How about you? So if your life ends today, that's it, right? Poof. That's what you think? Okay. Well, I've got hope for something different. Good luck. Good luck with that. Criticize me. Now, to show you how full of herself she is, Ocasio-Cortez hinted, it's almost as if we helped shape the platform. She also took credit for a civilian climate corps, an apprenticeship program for young people to train them for jobs in the climate energy industry. Oh, I can't wait till it's all windmills and sunshine and rainbows and unicorns and lollipops and chocolate-covered roads. Oh, my. Oh, goodness, Alexandria. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I wish I was as smart as you are. But I'm not. I'm just a dumb radio guy who reads a lot, who understands quite a bit, who has done probably more research than you. But who am I? You're making more money than me. You've got a more powerful position than me. Just ask her. She knows she's taking credit for it. Look at this, almost as if I created this. Whoop-de-doo. It's almost as if you single-handedly ruined the country. Woohoo! Hang your hat on that, sweetie. How dare you call me sweetie? Sorry. All right, Cupcake. Easy now. 11:10. You know how you can prevent the China virus from spreading? Oh, there's another professor. I think this from a professor, right? In a pitch to get more Americans. Yeah, it's a Harvard professor. Okay. So for last hour, we had a professor who said that heterosexuality is dangerous. Heterosexuality is bad. Heterosexuals are evil. Men and women don't really like each other. Jane Ward was her name at some university in California. Now we've got another really bright professor over here on the East Coast. He's encouraging Americans to double up on masks, urging people to really go all in on wearing multiple face coverings. How far is he suggesting you go? Well, even if you're outside jogging and you're alone with no one around, wear multiple layers of masks. If one mask is good, then two would be even better, according to the thinking. In fact, if two is good, why not three? CNBC actually asked that question. Why not three? With each layer, the science says the effectiveness grows. According to CNBC, doubling up increases the efficacy from 55% to 70%, tripling increases efficacy to 90%. But N95 masks have an efficacy rate of 95%. Now, in an op-ed for the Washington Post on Tuesday, Joseph Allen, a Harvard University associate professor and director of the Healthy Buildings program at Harvard's T.H. Chan School of Public Health, urged Americans to adjust their thinking on masks and take extra precautions because, we have plenty of money. We can go out and buy 200-300 masks and wear 2 or 3 of them every time we go out. And then, of course, you have to dispose of them when you come back. If they're the paper mask, you can only wear them once. So you wear 3 masks, just throw them away next time you go out. Whether you're jogging or not, doesn't matter. Even if you're stepping outside to get the paper, got to get another 3 masks. Put those suckers on. Go get the mail and the paper and come back in, take them off, throw them away. I forgot to put water out for the dog. Another 3 masks. Put them on. Go outside. So this is his thinking. First, he wrote, every American should be using N95s. Every American should. Do you know how much N95s actually cost? I'll show you what this is. This that I'm holding up, if you're looking here, is an N95 mask. And it is tight. It is very tight. It is very filtered. And this one feels like paper, so probably would be good for 1 or 2 uses. And they're $5 or $6 a piece. So that's what every American says, the elitist college professor. Again, these people are so out of touch with Americans. We had an American in the White House. He was rich, but he was an American. Now we don't have an American in the White House. I don't know. It's a hybrid. It's a Chinese-American hybrid named Joe Biden, named Kamala Harris, named Nancy Pelosi, named Chuck Schumer, named AOC, named Ilhan Omar, or Rashida Tlaib, or Ayanna Pressley. They are U.S.-Chinese hybrids because all these edicts and all of this climate change nonsense, all it is doing is making China laugh at us all the way to the bank. You realize they had a big New Year's celebration in Wuhan. How did they get rid of it? It's gone. It's gone in Wuhan, apparently. They had a big unmasked celebration in Wuhan on New Year's Eve while nobody was in Times Square in New York. Who the hell do you think is laughing? They're nothing more than lapdogs. They're sitting on Xi Jinping's lap while he pets them, gives them treats in the form of billions of dollars and contracts for Hunter and Devin and Chris. Entire corruption throughout. Luckily, we've managed to luckily, there are a few smart voters out there who have managed to put a few good people in Congress who luckily have cojones and don't mind speaking out. Matt Gaetz being one of them. Going to campaign in Wyoming against Liz Cheney today. The rhino. Good. Get rid of the rhinos. Get rid of the career politicians. Get some younger people with a true American, I love freedom, Constitution vision in there. And we might get back on a path in which we can excel. Because we are so in the slow lane now. I mean, Joe Biden's demeanor is all you need to know. That's where America is. America is hobbling along. America is looking confused. I can't put my pen. Find a place to put my pen. Where am I? Here's my wife and my daughter. No, that's my sister. And That's how they see America now. That's got to be how the foreign countries see America now. A leader, a true leader during the Trump administration. Were they a little afraid? Yeah, they were a little on edge. You might say that. Anything wrong with that? No. No, unless you're a globalist, then it's not good. In fact, I'm surprised. Has Joe Biden started apologizing yet? I have not heard if he's there yet. I'm sure he will. He'll start apologizing to world leaders for our superiority and our scaring them for the last 4 years. So this professor saying wear 2 or 3 masks and even preferably N95s. He can go pound sand. Is that wrong? Is that mean? No, I'm serious. He can literally, he can go pound sand. He can pound it right up his butt for all I care. Yeah, unless he wants to buy the N95s, good luck. He's got more money than most of us do. It's easy for them to make suggestions. They have no idea. They think everybody apparently is as rich and well off as they are. But you know what? The preachers, the leftist preachers of all of this righteousness don't do it themselves. Remember Joe Biden was maskless out by the Lincoln Memorial on Inauguration Day? Do you remember what Jen Psaki said, his press secretary? Well, he was celebrating. Okay. All right. He was celebrating. Yeah, good answer. Good answer, Jen. That's what you say when you don't have a good answer and a good reason. You say, well, he was celebrating. He just got the nomination. He just got the inauguration. He's celebrating. He didn't wear a mask. Oh, and you know what else is next? I mean, we might as well just hit you with all of it, right? You might as well know what's going on. Court packing. Oh, you forgot about court packing, huh? Oh, well, guess what? As soon as one thing ends, another begins. He's got 1 million of them. He's got 1 million ways to destroy the country. Any one of them on its own could work. But he's compiling them all so it'll be fast. He wants to put us out of our misery fast. According to the Blaze, Joe Biden has begun staffing his promised commission to reform the Supreme Court and the federal judiciary. So that includes all the lower courts, too. All the ones that Donald Trump spent 4 years. That's one thing he was able to do with Mitch McConnell while they were busy trying to impeach him. Those circuit courts, the Ninth Circuit, wow, what a change that undertook. But he said he was going to, he vowed in October he would go on to address court packing as well as a number of other things. Now, this new commission, which is to be housed under the purview of the White House counsel's office and chaired by Biden campaign lawyer Bob Bauer, is indeed moving ahead, with some members already being selected, according to Politico. Whether or not seats will be added to the Supreme Court is unknown. But why else would Biden even be concerned about reforming the court? As Hot Air's Ed Morrissey points out, despite Biden's insistence that the commission will be bipartisan, there's only one party demanding changes to the Supreme Court, and it's not the Republicans. I mean, it's destruction by executive orders and panels. Donald Trump, while he was so criticized every step. Well, you can't nominate a Supreme Court justice this close to an election. Why? He did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong at the ellipse on the day when they were confirming the Electoral College. He did nothing wrong. But Chuck Schumer says, we're going to impeach him for it. Censure's not enough. We're going to impeach him. We don't want him to ever be able to run again because we know those domestic terrorists who we call conservatives might try to elect him again, and we can't give them that opportunity. Okay. We have a Communist Party that is alive and well in this country. And you know who they are. See them every day. You see them every day on the TV and on the social media. The only difference is the ones on social media have no power and no brains. Am I right? They have no power. They aren't in control of anything, and they have no brains. They speak utter nonsense. And if they disagree with you, or if you ask them a question, they call you a name and they run. They call you a Trump pansy and they run. That's the end of it. Still waiting, by the way, for somebody on the left to call me and tell me I'm just off my rocker. Just waiting for it. I'm waiting for you. Are you there? Are you online? Can you at least speak? At least drop me a note. Tell me how far. Some guy called me a washed-up morning DJ the other day. Yes. Over the target, baby. That's all I care about. And what is it with all the troops still at the Capitol building? Are they really afraid, or are they, as Tucker Carlson pointed out last night, are they just doing this for show? To make people think that domestic terrorism via conservatives is a thing. That's more likely. Joe Biden set new record for executive orders in his first few days in office. Former CIA Director John Brennan compared libertarians to ISIS-style insurgencies. The DHS, Department of Homeland Security, issued a domestic terrorism bulletin about the ideologically motivated violent extremists with objections to the exercise of governmental authority. They think we're going to start a civil war. It stands to reason that federal law enforcement, this according to PJ Media, federal law enforcement agencies may be on the edge after a breach of the Capitol on January 6th, but Biden's inauguration went off without a hitch. Threats may exist, but the DHS terrorism bulletin is chilling, considering recent moves that suggest Democrats are planning a new domestic war on terror targeting conservatives. Now, where was all this worry and fear when there really was domestic terrorism going on all across the country? Where were the troops that should have been brought in to Portland, Oregon, to Minneapolis, Minnesota, to Chicago, Illinois, to New York City, to Atlanta, Georgia? Where was the outcry? No, they were cheering them on CNN. They were cheering them on. No, we don't want troops. The mayors and governors said, we don't want you. We don't want your stupid troops. They told President Trump. No, we don't want them. But what about the killing of police and innocents? What about the burning and looting of stores, black-owned, white-owned, all-owned stores? What about the burning of police stations? What about the assault on law enforcement? Ted Wheeler in Portland, oh, would take care of it. I'm unified with these people. Yeah, Antifa. Now suddenly they're scared. They're sounding the alarm. They have got to have a war on domestic terrorism. Now that one day in one focused area happened on January 6th. This wasn't mayhem all over the streets just because it was an opportunity. Like it or not, justifiable or not, it was a focused attack because people are afraid of losing our freedom. Unlike the yo-yos, the numbnuts, the ignoramuses, the idiots, the mooks, the imbeciles that ravaged the country for months and still are, and they don't even know why. They just know they're getting free stuff out of it. No outcry there, no troops there, no worry about war on domestic terror there. No, we'll just defund the police and it'll all be good. That's what we'll do, defund the police. That'll take care of it. But oh my God, AOC's scared. She's frightened. She's shaking in her little shoes. What are we going to do? They are a piece of work. They're all a piece of work. They are so dangerous. They are so dangerous. I wish there would be, I'm probably going to regret saying this because I'm probably going to lose my place on Facebook. I wish there would be some kind of overhaul in the government and we would get rid of the tyrants in there. Donald Trump was not a tyrant. That's not a matter of opinion. I don't care what your opinion on Donald Trump is. He wasn't a tyrant. Well, that's your opinion. No, that's not my opinion. That's a fact. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, and the rest of them are tyrants. That is not an opinion. That's a fact. If your opinion differs, I don't care about it because you are dumb. You don't know. I do. I'm being an elitist on this one, okay? My turn to be an elitist on this one. You're too stupid to realize that your side is imbeciles. Well, they really aren't. They know what they're doing, okay? I should give them credit for that. They do understand what they're doing. They are trying to overtake America. They are trying to control you and me. They are trying to break us. They are trying to make all of the wealth, spread the wealth, right? We know they're trying to do that. They've got a brain there. It's the people who follow them who are brainless, who they think, oh, I can tell him Donald Trump he's a bad orange man. Joe Biden, he'll save the country. When quite the opposite is true. That may be your opinion, but I will tell you it's wrong. Your opinion is wrong. You are wrong. Your ideology is wrong. Matter of fact. All right? So you going to argue with me now? Or are you not that strong in your opinion to argue anything? Maybe you're saying, maybe I'm striking a chord. Maybe you're saying, that guy's right. That guy's right. Because if you were smart, if you were really intelligent, you would stop and you would say, these are really some pretty good points. Where is the proof of climate change destroying the earth? Don't tell me the fires in California. California is poorly managed. It's a poorly managed state. Their electrical grids, they're the trash wood. They cut nothing. And by the way, Los Angeles desert. It's a freaking dirt. All right, hello, look up the word desert. It's a desert with a city built on it. Supposed to be hot. Most of the fires out there, arguably, were set by, are you ready? Arsonists. Oh, my goodness. You're kidding me. I kid you not. $11:30. It's inconvenient facts. By the way, there is a book I've added to my list. In fact, I've already got it. Let me. I just forget the author. It's called Inconvenient Facts, and it's the antidote to the drivel that's in Inconvenient Truth by Al Gore. Inconvenient Facts is by Gregory Wrightstone. I heard him on an interview on Right America Media the other day with Keith Hansen. He's very good. I try to get him on this show. Inconvenient Facts, the science that Al Gore doesn't want you to know. Recommended reading. Because climate change is a hoax. There's a new mantra for you. Climate change is a hoax. We will get a what did the kids do in the John Stossel video? Climate change is not a lie. We won't tell our world goodbye. Something like that. They've got the children out there chanting that we're all going to die if we don't address climate change. Lie. It's a big lie. It's being forced upon our kids because they know better than we do. They know how to teach our kids better than we do. That's why they don't like homeschooling and charter schools, because homeschooling and charter schools does not indoctrinate them the right way. You see, they are trying to indoctrinate. They are trying to socially engineer a better society, a more, as AOC says, a more advanced society. That's what they're trying to do in the public schools. Speaking of some of this stuff, let me see if I can find. I've got some AOC here someplace. Wow, can't believe the stuff we haven't used. We switch gears quite a bit here, but at least what's this now? Oh, did we just go black again? I got another nasty gram. We switched browsers, and now I've got another nasty gram. Are we going to have to restart this thing? No, it looks like we're still on. Okay, good. So, masks. Rand Paul is not a big fan of the mask mandates. Recently, Rand Paul said there's no science to keeping schools closed, and there's actually no good science to keeping restaurants closed. In fact, there's no good science that anything we've done has changed the trajectory, and he's right. He was at a recent Turning Point USA conference in Florida. Listen to him speak about these mandates, and I think, if memory serves, this is about the mask mandate in particular.
It'd be one thing if we were told you have to give up your liberty, you have to give up your freedom, we're going to save your life. But what if you have to give up all your freedoms and they're wrong on the science? Every one of the mandates, and you look in country after country, state after state, you look at when the mask mandates went in, the incidents went up exponentially after the mandates. Restaurants, nobody can eat in a restaurant. There's no science behind any of that. Middle seat missing on the airplane. You really think you're like 12 inches from the other guy instead of 6 inches? It really makes a difference. None of it really makes any sense. And there's no epidemiological evidence. You know, it's like, wash your hands, stand 6 feet apart. There's no evidence that slowed down I think that the trajectory of the virus hasn't been altered at all by any of these things. I think the vaccine will. And this is why I really despise people like the CNN Dr. Gupta, who I think is committing television malpractice by saying, oh, your mask is a much better thing than the vaccine. Well, no, it isn't. The masks aren't working at all. The thing's going through the roof and people are dying. Why would you want to discourage someone from taking a vaccine and say, oh, wear the mask? And the masks are different, too. The N95 mask actually does work to a certain extent if worn properly and use sterile technique. So in the hospital, Our doctors, I have a brother and a sister who are doctors, they wear the N95 mask, and it's kept them from getting infected. But there's no value to the cloth mask at all. It's like wearing your underwear. You might as well cut your underwear up and wear your underwear protection. Doesn't work.
That's why I call it a face diaper.
A face diaper. Oh, what's his profession, by the way, Rand Paul? Oh, yeah. He's a medical doctor. Huh. He went on to say people are being asked to give things up for the greater good, and that this will lead to the power and control of the left going far beyond what we're seeing now. In other words, there is method in this madness.
What are they asked to give up? They're being asked to give up their graduation from high school, their graduation from college, their wedding. And if we're not careful, it's going to be their 5-year wedding anniversary or their 10-year anniversary, and we're still going to be wearing masks. If Fauci has his way, you'll never give up on the mask. It's all about submission. They want you to submit to their will, whether there's any signs. And in fact, like on schools, I've been telling Fauci for 6 months, the evidence is that if you open schools, you will not get a surge. The whole world accepts it, except for Dr. Fauci, and he finally accepted it last week, 6 months after I started showing him the evidence.
But you know what? A lot of the teachers' unions aren't. In fact, in, Chicago? Teachers did some interpretive dance. Did you see that? That was all over the web, and it was on the news last night. These teachers doing this interpretive dance, refusing to go back to work because it's too dangerous. They don't want to work. They want time off from indoctrinating the little snot-nosed kids. Hopefully they'll never get any of them back. They'll all be homeschooled. Power and control is what they seek. Do we want people to be safe and healthy? Of course we do. Will we use any means necessary to make sure they do? Most of us will. So the edicts are being laid down to keep the few numbnuts who don't care about anyone from spewing droplets on someone. Now, it doesn't make sense. Let the leftists trust the progressives. We don't, because we're not drinking the Kool-Aid. We see the writing on the wall, and yes, we can and will think for ourselves. Thank you very much. It's government overreach. It always has been. But some people are, it's all for the greater good. I wish they would wake up. I wish they'd think with a brain of their own. Were they raised to be group thinkers? Were they all raised in a commune? Oh, we all have to agree on her. Oh, Janet Mills, she's doing it for the greater good. I see this all the time. You look at News Center. You look at Woke Center 6 Facebook page. Oh, it's all good. Do you want your grandmother to die? Well, no, I can't go see my grandmother, thank you very much. I'm locked out of that. I don't have a grandmother anymore, but if I did, I wouldn't be able to visit her. Nobody wants their grandmother to die. These people are so disingenuous and numb, it hurts. It hurts my brain to think how numb these people, what must it be like going through life reliant on everybody, what everybody else is thinking and doing, and you can't think for yourself. There are millions of people out there like that. I'm not one of them. You aren't either. Paul was on with Laura Ingraham recently and pointing out that the lockdowns are useless. Lockdowns are useless, according to a Stanford study. Here's what he had to say on Laura Ingraham's show recently, Rand Paul.
With regard to the pandemic lockdown, you mentioned the Stanford study. This is a peer-reviewed study in a medical journal that says they studied 10 different countries. And what they found is that the mandatory lockdowns did no better than voluntary suggestions. So I've been saying this for a long time. I don't think we've changed the trajectory of the virus at all with any of the things we're told to do, and they're never going to let up on this. But what I tell people is use common sense. If you've had the disease or you've been vaccinated and you're several weeks out from your second dose, throw your mask away and tell Dr. Fauci to take a leap. Because once you have immunity, you don't need to do this. They will never let up. There are doctors out there saying, well, we need to wear them after the vaccine, and really we may need to wear them forever. Yeah. That is ridiculous, and that defies the science. So when you've had it, and you have immunity, or you've had a vaccine and you've had your second dose and you've got immunity, I say throw your mask away and tell these so-called experts who say lockdowns work, tell them to take a flying leap, because there's no scientific evidence that the lockdowns have done anything to change the trajectory of this virus.
Well, they've ruined the country, and that's what the Democrats wanted. They wanted something to get rid of Trump. They got it. That's why. I think that's why they allowed the coronavirus, the China virus, to come in here in the first place, because they wanted to destroy Trump, and the people who died just collateral damage. But it's something they can also blame on Donald Trump, and have. Even though Andrew Cuomo killed 6,200+ people in nursing homes, he uses that to write a book, How to Manage a Crisis Like the China Virus. He killed 6,200 people, and he blames Trump for that, too. And you know, the thing is, that book, that stupid coronavirus book he wrote while coronavirus was still raging, after he murdered 6,200+ people, that gets over 4 stars from over 1,200 votes. Who are the idiots who think this guy is anything other than a disingenuous freak? He is a freak show. How do these people get elected? Because people don't understand. They don't understand what freedom is and how important it is, and they don't appreciate what they've got. They just don't appreciate what we have here in America. All they've got is hatred and vitriol to anybody on the right. And boy, do they hate people who believe in God. Many of them. I'm not saying all of them. Man, won't they demean you if you say something? Well, you know, I trust in God. You believe in fairy tales? Yeah, well, why don't you just go ahead and bite me? So what about the fact that we went from too little security in Washington, D.C. on the 6th to the military that is in the streets now to this day? What does Rand Paul say about that? This is also from the Laura Ingraham interview.
You know, government, they either underreact or overreact. So I think there was too little security, obviously, last week, and now we're going to become a militarized zone. And, you know, they're checking congressmen as they come in to see if they have a sharp pencil or a sharp pen. So it's gotten ridiculous. And so we'll see what happens and whether it's permanent. But most people who write about civil liberties say that in times of war or in times of stress or in times of crisis, you lose your civil liberties very quickly, but it's very difficult to get them back because government, once it grows large, never wants to give up on this.
There you go.
But yes, we have to resist this, and we have to have security, obviously. But I think living in a wartime state with, you know, we have troops in the Capitol, you know, they're staying in the Capitol. They're platooning and camping in the Capitol.
That's preposterous.
Now, here is the staggering amount of collateral damage that is being done. Food insecurity, 82 to 132 million more people. Severe poverty, 70 million more people. Maternal and underage 5 mortality from interrupted health care, 1.7 million more people. Infectious disease deaths from interrupted services. Millions of people with tuberculosis, malaria, and HIV have died. School closures for children affecting children's future earning potential and lifespan. Interrupted vaccination campaigns for millions of children, and intimate partner violence for millions of women. All for the greater good. Yesterday, Paul, a medical doctor by profession, do I need to remind you, made an unnerving prediction about masks. He said, quote, "They will never relent. These people," meaning the leftists, "are never going to let you not wear a mask." Kind of frightening, isn't it, huh? It's 11:46. Yeah, I know. We've got to take a break. So hang on. We'll be right back.
1160 WSKW.
Townline Antiques wants to know, what are you shopping for today? Searching for furniture to add to your home? Townline Antiques has beautiful pieces of furniture for every room, built to last with quality materials from the past. Thinking of decorating in a classic style? You'll find enchanting home decor, artwork, glassware, and hundreds more items around every corner. Do you love collecting books, comics, coins, sports memorabilia, watches, or classic electronics? Townline Antiques has cool, rare, and one-of-a-kind items to add to your collection that you won't find anywhere else. And if you love searching through treasures of the past, here's more great news. Townline Antiques has expanded with extra booth space. Now there are even more quality antiques to browse every time you visit. Plus, there are a limited number of dealer spaces now available. If you'd like to learn more about selling at Townline Antiques, just stop in. Townline Antiques, open Tuesday through Sunday from 10 to 5. Route 201, right on the Winslow-Vassalboro Town Line.
What's important here at Moody's is we have a lot of opportunity for upward mobility.
Moody's definitely helped me through. They sent me to school. I got my degree in business. I had the demeanor and I had the willpower and the want.
Our trade is constantly changing and there's always new challenges that arise.
I definitely feel like an owner. It's very exciting.
When you like what you do, you like your job, you like the people you work with, what else could you ask for?
Bring your skills to Moody's and build a long-term future with us.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mainly cloudy through this afternoon with occasional snow showers. Highs will be in the 30s. Cloudy with the chance for snow showers tonight. Lows in the 20s. Mainly cloudy tomorrow. Highs again in the 30s. But we cool down for Friday with highs just in the teens. Chance for some more snow showers, especially at the coast on Friday. Sunny but cool for the weekend.
Your pep rally for freedom is back. Powered by the Gun Shop in Augusta on Coney Circle. Now, here's John James.
Hello. How are you? I've got another great bite from Rand Paul here. This just happened last Sunday. George Stephanopoulos. Are there any journalists left? Are there any journalists left? Where have all the journalists gone? Long time passing. George Stephanopoulos is a left-wing hack, much like Chuck Todd on NBC. George is on ABC. Anybody with an objective brain would have looked at all the inconsistencies and blatantly illegal activities during the election cycle and said, we really should look at all these questions being raised by witnesses who have nothing to gain and everything to lose. Rand Paul thinks so. And he said so on ABC last weekend. George Stephanopoulos, the far lefty who used to be with the Clinton administration and shouldn't be anywhere near a newsroom, did not like it. In fact, rather than ask a question and listen, that's what reporters do. Real reporters ask questions and listen. But not Stephanopoulos. No, he fought, just like Chuck Todd fights with those he disagrees with. Rolling Stone magazine, the far-left rag read by stoners, said Paul made a fool of himself. They, of course, were 180 degrees off the mark as usual. It was Stephanopoulos who made an ass of himself, as you will hear in this piece. Mind you, George is the interviewer, the journalist, not an interrogator. But he's a partisan hack, and he doesn't understand his place in the journalist pecking order. So here we go. Rand Paul with Georgie Boy.
Senator Paul, let me begin with a threshold question for you. This election was not stolen. Do you accept that fact?
Well, what I would say is that the debate over whether or not there was fraud should occur. We never had any presentation in court where we actually looked at the evidence. Most of the cases were thrown out for lack of standing, which is a procedural way of not actually hearing the question.
Right, correct.
There were several states in which the law was changed by the Secretary of State, correct, and not the state legislature.
Correct.
To me, those are clearly unconstitutional.
Yes.
And I think there's still a chance that those actually do finally work their way up to the Supreme Court. Courts traditionally and historically don't like to hear election questions. But yes, were there people who voted twice? Were there dead people who voted? Were there illegal aliens who voted? Yes, and we should get to the bottom of it. I'll give you an example. In my state, when we had a Democrat Secretary of State, she refused, even under federal order, to purge the rolls of illegal voters. We got a Republican Secretary of State. and he purged the rolls.
Senator
It does
Paul, I
make
have
a
to,
difference, and those things
I
do
have to stop
occur.
you there. There, no election is perfect, but there were 86 challenges filed by President Trump and his allies in court. All were dismissed.
Right.
Every state certified the results after
Dismissed,
investigations, after investigations, counts, and recounts. The Department of Justice, led by William Barr, said there's no widespread evidence of fraud.
Oh my
Can't you
God.
just say the words? This election was not
what I would
stolen.
suggest
What an
is
idiot.
What I would suggest is that if we want greater confidence in our elections, and 75% of Republicans agree with me, is that we do need to look at election integrity.
Yes.
And we do need to see if we can restore confidence in the elections.
Well, 75% of Republicans agree with you because they were fed a big lie by
God.
President Trump and his supporters who say the election was stolen. Why can't you say?
Well, I think
Journalists.
I think where you make a mistake, and hey, George,
shut up, George.
Where you make a mistake is that people coming from the liberal side like you, you immediately say everything's a lie instead of saying there are two sides to everything.
Right.
Historically, what would happen is if I said that I thought there was fraud, you would interview someone else who said there wasn't. But now you insert yourself in the middle and say the absolute fact is that everything I'm saying is a lie.
Absolutely. George Stephanopoulos, another moron. How can these guys be journalists? So here's Rand Paul, a medical doctor, a senator, schooling George Stephanopoulos on how to do journalism. It's precious. And the left doesn't say anything wrong with it. They think Rolling Stone actually said Rand Paul made a fool out of himself. Really? Rolling Stone, Rolling Stoner, give me a break. I'll tell you, I wish I had a bigger platform because I would love to go out on these people. I would love to go out nationwide on these idiots and call them just what I'm calling them right here. Because that's what they are. They need to be called out. People need to see how foolish they look to us. They don't look foolish to each other. And you know, the thing is, their thing is acceptance by other people in the left. We don't care. We don't care. We disagree on things. We have before. We've disagreed. Things I've said, I've told you, you're going to disagree with me on this. And I'm sure you have. That's okay, because what I think of you and what you think of me doesn't rely on what we both believe. Whereas on the left, if they don't all believe the same thing, they're on the outs with each other, and they have that group mentality. They have to be accepted by their group. So naturally, they all think alike, even when their thought process is totally skewed, totally wrong, which it usually is. They just have to be part of that group, inclusive. And it's all about, what is it all about? Oh, of course. We need to be with that group, that nothing more than feeling. We have to be on the ends with them. It's all about feeling. Let's be friends. Unless you're a conservative and believe in God, then forget about it, okay? That's all I care about. As long as I got my leftist friends, I don't care what anybody thinks. But I can't disagree with them because then they're going to cancel me. They're so easy to make fun of. They're so easy to make fun of. I've stopped arguing with them for the most part. I've gotten pretty good at that. I don't argue with them on Facebook anymore because it is arguing with idiots. It is arguing with idiots. And if you're listening, I've lost one person here on Facebook during the show. I assume I said something that offended them. And they always leave. They never say why they left. They just hate me and they leave. And that's okay. That's fine. So, you know, I stopped arguing with them because it's arguing with idiots. And you can't do it. You just cannot have an argument with them. They don't want to hear it because what they know is right, and it doesn't matter. You can't talk sense to them. It's so frustrating. Your blood pressure goes down if you just ignore them. Ignore them. They're like children. You know, just ignore them. Scold them if you want to. Give them a timeout and just ignore them. I don't block people unless I have to. I actually like to read this stuff. I like to read what they say, and I always invite them to call in. Always, when I write them back, I give them the number. I give them the time. They're not going to call. They're too cowardly. They're afraid. They know they don't have a fight. They know they don't have anything to stand on. They don't know that climate change is a hoax. They think they know that it's real, but they have no way, no leg to stand. Well, why? Why is it real? Because Ocasio-Cortez says we're all going to die in 11 years. Is that why you think it's real? Well, the science. They always do that. The science. Look at this. Okay, what science? I've got science here too. It says the Earth the temperature's increased like a degree in the last century. Where's the science? Ice caps are melting. Well, same thing happened in 1922. Where's the science? The Earth is we're burning up. Well, no, actually things are more green and lush now. There's more opportunity for growing food for the hungry now than there has been in our lifetime. Okay, come on, your turn. Your turn. What do you got? Bring it to me. Now, they aren't going to call. Kidding me? 11:58. Got to run. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9. Mike Violette back here tomorrow morning at 6. Remember, high school hockey tonight, 8:40. Kennebec Riverhawks at the Messalonsky Eagles from the Camden National Bank Ice Vault in Augusta. 8:40 face-off, and Mike Violette's going to be there for it all.
1160 WSKW.
I'm CBS 13 meteorologist Lexi O'Connor. Mainly cloudy through this afternoon with occasional snow showers. Highs will be in the 30s. Cloudy with the chance for snow showers tonight. Lows in the 20s. Mainly cloudy tomorrow. Highs again in the 30s. But we cool down for Friday with highs just in the teens. Chance for some more snow showers, especially at the coast on Friday. Sunny but cool for the weekend.